What's going on, guys? Welcome to Cruising with Kevin. Today I picked up a new ride here. I'm going to show you that in a minute. Just taking it through the car wash because it is Welcome to TK's Garage 405. Check out the new HOOPTIE. Well, it's probably not going to be a ton cleaner back there because it keeps blowing leaves all over from the box and whatever other junk is in there. Alright guys, so what we got behind me here is a 2014 Duramax. Yeah, it's supposed to have been deleted. I wouldn't even know how to tell you if it's actually deleted or not. I just gave it a quick rinse off. You can see inside the bed here, it was just full of leaves and garbage and it blew around a little bit, but at least I can see out the window now. Need some washer fluid and a little bit of other stuff, but it has decent rubber on it. Has this big bumper guard, push guard. It was an oil field truck, so of course it's going to be beat up a little bit. That just always happens. The body's actually not too bad other than this back little wrinkle in the back of the bed there, which is fine. I actually prefer to buy ones that have just a little bit of body damage because I seem to always scratch it loading up my camper and things like that. So it also has a slip tank in it. I plugged the holes, it was open, but they obviously pulled the pump out or whatever. I don't know if it actually had a pump or I'm really not too sure. I'd assume it's bolted down. Have to figure out that situation there, but I'll show you the interior. So it is just a plain Jane work truck trim. Like I said, nothing too fancy, typical work truck. It's got the floor shifted 4-wheel drive. There is a engine light for a glow plug, possibly other things, I'm not really too sure. We ran the codes last night. There was a bunch, but I think that was because the battery maybe went dead at one point, which is super common to see that. So I'll show you how kind of dirty you can expect the truck to be before I washed it here. So that kind of gives you an idea of how dirty it was. So supposedly some stuff here with the EGR and a straight pipe or something like that. So apparently that was deleted. So I don't know. I guess we'll see if it starts using def fluid, then I guess it wasn't deleted, and if it stays at full, then I'll know it's actually good to go. So like I said, it doesn't look too bad. It's I'll probably replace the front seat if I do keep it, just to get something a little cleaner in there. It's not too bad actually though, considering it's only got 180,000 miles on it. Yeah, so the thing that terrified me about this is the CP4 issues that these obviously always have. He assured me it won't be a problem, but I guess time will tell here. So I'm not sure. I'm just gonna probably drive it home, see how it works and runs and everything, maybe give it a once over once I get it home, and then kind of decide from there. But I am curious to see how it'll do on fuel and things like that, just in comparison to my regular truck. And I mean, I guess like if it was to be like drastically different and that CP4 would last, then it might be worth it, you know. But like I said, typical work truck, just pretty dirty. I'm gonna give it a little cleanup here, and haven't really checked much of anything if I'm being honest here. So see if we can, what's this about? see if we can find anything else that are wrong with it. But I mean, it seems to run pretty good and everything like that, so I guess time will tell here. Like I said, it's pretty filthy back here. This all needs to come out of here. I put my camper in here and there won't be enough room, so that'll have to go. Doesn't look like there's any, oh, there is a gooseneck hitch in it, I guess, so have to figure that situation out too. Looks like it's yeah, it's removable, so that's good. So yeah, overall, like I said, it's I just wanted to rinse it off so I could see out the windows. I'm gonna give it a quick vacuum here and we'll go from there. Okay, so my wife's gonna drive this thing home, and it was pretty dirty inside. Just giving it a quick wipe down here to get some of the dust and grime off of it. I'm gonna try to clean up these door panels and stuff. You can see, like, bought some of this Armor All orange stuff there. Oops, sorry about that. And I'm gonna try to get it a little bit cleaner here. Okay, so that was kind of an ordeal. I went and washed it. By the time I actually found a car wash, I wanted to hand wash it, but I couldn't find one. So just went through an auto wash there, vacuumed it out quickly, wiped everything down. I had to go to Walmart, and then the hitch pin wasn't long enough. So if you ever have like these newer trucks, they've got bigger than just like a 2-inch receiver. It's like a 2 and a whatever it is, 2 and something. So then the pin doesn't fit through. So then I had to go try to find another one. So I figured that out. And then for some reason, this truck doesn't have a 4-prong flat with the 7-prong round, which I've never seen that on these newer trucks. Then I had to go get an adapter and waste more money. I had to buy a hitch because I have 9 at home and none with me. Yeah, so whatever, tires are low on air. I need to top that up somewhere along the way. Didn't have change with me and the card reader wasn't working, so I'm gonna head back.
In 2 kilometers, take the exit onto State Highway 158 East and State Highway 250 Loop.
We're gonna get on the road here. I had to get a fuel cap for it because there was no diesel cap on it. I was wrong, it's actually 2013 as well, same difference, but yeah, so I had to go get some stuff for it. I'm gonna, like I said, go back and
stay in the left 2 lanes.
On the road, but my wife's probably gonna drive this one, so we'll go from there. All right, we got back on the road with the Duramax, so I'll tell you kind of what happened there. We were coming back from California. We went up to Las Vegas there, spent a few days there. We were coming back and I saw this truck for sale, and it was a 2017 Silverado. It was kind of a work truck trim, the same as basically what I had, 6-liter gas, whatever. And I thought, you know what, I could see it was a little bit beat up in the box or whatever, but the guy said he would take $9,000 for it, 170,000 miles on it, and I was like, you know, mine's got like guys, first stop here, trying to match up the fuel to the truck and diesel, the gas and the diesel, so it's close in price. It's like $2.95 and $2.65 here, so that's about as cheap as they both get ish. So otherwise we're gonna have to make 2 fuel stops, and that's kind of annoying. But we went like over 100 miles already, which is interesting. And I didn't fill that truck right full, and I only put 6 gallons of diesel in it, so I don't know, maybe it's actually going to be as good as I'm kind of always been hoping that it would be. So we'll see what happens there, but I'm putting gas in my truck now. We're going to get a little snack here and get back on the road. All right guys, probably our last fuel stop here. This truck got 7.76 miles per gallon. We were driving about 75 that time. I just filled up the Duramax there and it got just a little over 15 miles per gallon. So all that thing is towing right now is our little car, but that's, I mean, that's pretty good. So we'll see, I guess, if that continues, but a good start, maybe hopeful here yet. So we're hitting the road. All right guys, we made it back from our trip. So probably a good 10 hours anyways. So this truck averaged right around 15, just about 16 miles per gallon. Realized the tire size is a little bit bigger, so the speedometer is running a little slower on it there. So yeah, it had a few little things that were popping up there. Reduced engine power, which is common if the mass airflow sensor gets dirty. It's like filthy under the hood, so I suspect that it's probably air filter's probably plugged. So I'm gonna go do a little bit of tune-up stuff to it today here, probably change the oil and do all that kind of stuff, and we'll see how it runs again. All right, so I just tried pulling the air filter out here, and you can see this thing is just trashed. It's like it was sucking into the motor almost, into the intake. And then there was this sitting inside it, which I have no idea what that was for, and another little piece of something like that as well. So not sure what that was about. It started this morning and it stalled out, and I had a hard time getting it going again, but maybe that's just the air filter's so plugged. Hopefully that's most of what the codes are here. So change that out and fire it back up and take it down for an oil change. All right guys, I returned the U-Haul and I took this thing and I washed it up really good. The box was just covered in filth. You guys saw, kind of brought it back there. I pulled probably 200 gloves out of it. It's actually got a gooseneck hitch in it, which is good. And you can remove it, which is nice also. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I cleared all the codes again. I took it in, I got an oil change done. I did the fuel filter again, even though it said it was 75%. I just wanted to start fresh. They got them to grease everything, air up the tires. It does look way better already. Like I said, it got a little ding in the back of the box on the other side there, but really overall not too bad. I gave it a quick vacuum again. And yeah, there's one code remaining for a sensor, so it's either a wire or a sensor there. It's basically a low temperature for the fuel, so I'm hoping that just resolves itself. If not, I'll have to actually change the sensor or something there, figure out that. But other than that, it seems like it works pretty good. So we'll probably take it on a drive pretty quick here, or a trip actually, and I guess I'll know from there. I don't want to put my camper on it until I know for sure it's going to run good, but we just drove it home 10 hours and it was kind of running how it was supposed to. So I think that's going to probably be it. So you'll probably see some more of this. I'll keep you updated on how it works and everything like that. I'm praying that I don't have any of the CP4 issues, but 180,000 miles, gets like 15, 16 miles per gallon, towing like 4,000 pounds. So not too bad, but overall, we'll see, I guess. Like I said, I'm still skeptical a little bit, but I'm gonna give it another chance here. So thanks for watching again, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, share me around on social media. Cruising with Kevin on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and I'm TK's Garage 405 on Facebook. Thanks for watching, guys.